13 Scotty Powell takes a look at that race and a look back at this past weekend's race in Kansas, this week's edition of Around the Turn.
It was an action-packed race that came down to the final turn in Kansas, and at the end, a fan favorite won. Hello everyone, welcome to Around the Turn. Second race of the round of 12 of the playoffs, teammates Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin would lead the field to the green flag in Kansas. We had a pretty clean first stage with Denny Hamlin winning. And the second stage, though, we would see contact between Ryan Preece and John Hunter Nemechek. That sends both drivers spinning through the infield. Preece would suffer some damage to the front of his car. Starting stage 3, a huge accident as Noah Gragson gets into playoff driver Austin Cindric. Joey Logano would also be included in the accident. Bubba Wallace and Christopher Bell racing for the lead. They make contact, but behind them, a huge crash. Zane Smith goes for a wild ride against the wall, eventually flipping a couple of times before landing back on all 4 tires. Zane would be okay. Last lap now, Bubba Wallace racing his team owner Denny Hamlin. Going into turn 3, Hamlin slides up the track and makes contact with Wallace. And here comes Chase Elliott underneath both of them. Hamlin tries to block Elliott. Elliott hits Hamlin. And Chase Elliott would go on from 8th to 1st to capture the checkered flag at Kansas. And here's what winner Chase Elliott had to say.
I don't know, man. Just everything worked out perfect for me. Had a great push through 1 and 2. That kind of all started with the 6. And, yeah, big run off of 2. C's kind of parted and just was able to keep my momentum up. You know, that was really it. And obviously, we still had pretty good tires, you know, compared to those guys. But what a crazy finish.
Well, Nick Sanchez announced over the weekend he will be returning to Big Machine Racing in the number 48 Chevy next year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Daniel Hemrick, once again, will pilot the number 11 Action Industry Chevy for College racing this week at the Roval and next week in Las Vegas. The past week in Kansas, Connor Zillage scored his top 5 in 16 consecutive races in the Xfinity Series, surpassing Sam Ard's 41-year-old record, and he is now the longest in series history. And speaking of Connor Zillage, he will now pilot the number 7 Spire Motorsports Chevy Silverado Friday in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at the Roval. We head to the Charlotte Roval this weekend as we close out the second round of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. The Roval is a big wild card in the playoff and can bring about some crazy finishes. Alex Bowman may be one to watch as he heads into this weekend. I talked to Alex about how good he's become on the road courses.
Yeah, I was just really terrible at first with HMS on road courses. So, you know, I've got really good teammates to lean on. And
Chase Briscoe is looking to lock himself into the round of 8. He tells us how uncomfortable it can be trying to lock in at the Roval.
And we've seen it time and time again where just anything can happen and will happen, especially in that playoff race. So, yeah, it's a race that you definitely want to either have a win already or, you know, be 60-plus points ahead.
Austin Cindric finds himself fighting for a spot in the top 8 of the playoffs, entering the Roval. He's the 12th seed. I asked him what his thoughts are going into this weekend's cutoff race.
I definitely look forward to Charlotte and once again, trying to adapt what we know from our last couple of years to the Roval, where we had a great playoff race there last year. Not good enough to win. We were in a must-win last year, but yeah, it's going to have to be a good event for us regardless. But it has been frustrating, and it's actually probably been one of the weakest areas for me this year.
And that was News 13's Scotty Powell. Don't miss a second of the action starting Saturday with NASCAR Countdown Live, followed by NASCAR Xfinity Series playoff racing from Charlotte.